I'm so excited about this release of the Kingdom of Fear, because I think fear, and especially anxiety too, is what we're going to be learning, what kids are going to be learning a lot about with this new game, is how to cope with that big emotion. And I know it's something as adults we also go through, and especially with this time of year and with everything, with the pandemic still going on, having those disrupted routines, this is a really important emotion to kind of talk about and kind of learn more what it feels like, what and how do we recognize it, and how do we recognize our current actions towards that emotion and what we can do differently to feel better and more confident going through our day. And because we know what I love about the introduction video with this new kingdom is that wisdom, kind of similar to, for all of our followers out there who remember Kingdom of Anger in the introduction. Wisdom's like, let's just get rid of anger, no more anger, we'll just make it go away. And the king's like, no, Wisdom, like, anger's a good emotion, and like we need it, we just need to be able to cope with it in healthy ways. And so very similarly, we'll see in the Kingdom of Fear, Wisdom's like, okay, I can get rid of this, I have this antidote, we can just get rid of this. And King's like, no, Wisdom, like, fear is good, like, we know it's a good emotion, it triggers, we all have an internal alarm system that lets us know when maybe there's something dangerous. And as parents especially, this is important because we want our kids to be aware if there is danger. For example, when they're crossing the street, we want them to be aware of those things. And so that's why we're also talking a lot about anxiety in the Kingdom of Fear and how we can cope with those big emotions. And so I'm excited to show everyone what this looks like.
I agree. I think as parents and educators, it's always tempting to want our kids to be eternally happy and never have to go through anything scary. But I think the past few months have reminded us that there's no sheltering from those emotions, and it's better to learn coping strategies to know how to tackle those difficult moments and make sure that we stay safe as well. So should we go ahead and dive into the storytelling games?
Let's do it.
Awesome. So that's a quick reminder and way to show everyone how to access the new kingdom. So on the home page, first, you'll arrive to the Kingdom of Anger.
Press the arrow to begin.
This one everyone knows about, but on the upper right corner, there's an arrow. Sorry, I didn't hit the right one. And this will take you to the Kingdom of Fear.
Kingdom of Fear.
There
Press
it is.
to revisit the introductory animation, press the arrow at the bottom of the screen.
Okay, so we're gonna go right to the storytelling part.
Yes.
So I'm gonna hit the play button. Here we are in the Kingdom of Fear. It's a little different. You'll see the music is similar. And so this is one of the characters we need to help today. And as usual, in order to help this character, we need to win superpowers. So let's go and win superpowers.
Create more stories to complete the citizens' libraries and win superpowers.
Let's use the power of our imagination to help this citizen.
First, listen to the question, then drag and drop the answer onto the page to create this character's story. Where does the story take place?
All right, let's get started. We can pick the background. So I'll go ahead and pick this one.
I love all the different choices with this one, and what we'll see is how this is different from the Kingdom of Anger. We have all the different mini games within the Kingdom of Anger, and Kingdom of Fear. Kids will get to create their own story, and so I love, like you said, getting to use our imaginations, our creativity to kind of build this story and learn more about these emotions along the way.
Absolutely, and imagination can be helpful, and sometimes it can also put us in bad spots when we imagine that the worst things can happen. So this is a good exercise for kids and a great activity. So let me pick more elements for the decor, the background, and let's get
Once
started.
upon a time, in a faraway land, there was a character who was always scared. What was the character scared of?
What should we choose? We have cars, we have carrots, we have something related to school, something related to meeting new people, or something related to dogs. Emily, what do you want to pick?
Let's do the dogs. I know when I was little, I grew up with big dogs, but I had an experience where I was scared of big dogs for a little bit, even though I grew up with them. So definitely a good one to talk about.
All right,
What was the character scared
we'll
of?
pick big dogs.
Big ducks.
Ooh. So when we're scared, we tend to see the danger everywhere and very big around us, which is what we're showing in this illustration.
What did he feel inside his body?
Ooh. So fear triggers a certain reaction inside our bodies. What do we want? Maybe our body's
His body
shaking.
was shaking.
Or maybe
His stomach was hurting.
that happens a lot with kids, right? They'll say, my tummy hurts. I don't
Yeah.
want to go to school. And sometimes,
His mind was so full he couldn't think clearly.
And these are all things that we can experience at the same time, right, Undine? So that's why we're able to, kind of pick different options, because sometimes it is just our stomach hurting, but sometimes we're shaking and our stomach is hurting, and that's a lot to feel at one time.
right, it makes it even more confusing, and it's even harder to decipher whether it's your heart that's beating too fast or whether your legs are shaking. So yeah, definitely lots of things to tune into. So this,
First, listen to the question, then drag and drop the answer onto the
they're asking
in
us,
his head.
yeah, what were the thoughts inside his head? Let's see.
I'm ridiculous. It's not worth trying.
Hmm.
I can't do this. I'm not good enough.
Yeah, these are thoughts we tend to have when we're scared or anxious.
How did he protect himself?
So let's see.
He stayed home all day.
Ooh,
Hmm.
was that a good thing to do? Stay home all day because you're scared of big dogs?
No.
It works for a while.
For a little bit, it might.
All right, so what was the issue? Like we see that his shelter has transformed into something a little less welcoming, and so
Mm-hmm.
He never visited anyone, nor let anyone visit him.
Hmm.
How did he interact with others? He put a big smile on his face and pretended everything was okay, but deep down he was so scared.
Oh.
Thank you for sharing this story. Now the king understands better this character's behavior. Congratulations! You won superpowers! Press on each superpower to see how they work.
Okay, let's see what these are.
If you feel your body tense or shaking, you can use breathing techniques such as belly breathing or inhaling and exhaling on counts of 4. If you are feeling nervous because you are faced with something new or difficult, you could boost your self-confidence by focusing on what you can do and all the skills you have. Create more stories to complete the citizen.
Should we go help out this character now that we have superpowers?
I think we should, yeah.
All right. Let's see. He has all his alarms around him. He looks...
The hint the character is giving you in the cloud next to his head. Drag and drop the correct action superpower onto him, and together, let's teach it.
All right, so we can see his alarm system is very alert. And so we have to pick the right superpower to help him. We could help him take some deep breaths. Let's try that.
Tap on the character's belly 3 times to help him breathe deeply. Congratulations! This character is now ready for the reconciliation phase.
So here we have several options as well. The other one symbolizes a 5-step plan, which I like for the. I kind of like this one for the big dog situation because, you know, they can be scary. So thinking of a plan of how you can expose yourself gradually to a big dog might be a good idea. So let's bring him the 5-step plan.
Each step to help the character gradually expose himself to his fears in 5 steps.
All right, let's go. Yay, he did it!
I love that one. That was so fun.
Great. So another thing we can do now that we've helped him, is there anything you want to share, Emily, about those action superpowers and reconciliation superpowers? How can we apply those strategies and what are they for exactly?
Yeah, I did want to know, like, especially for those who are familiar with the Kingdom of Anger, similar idea where it kind of gives you the clues as to which superpowers to use, which is super helpful because you have a lot different ones to choose from and different ones to learn about. Those action superpowers are great for kind of, you know, when we talked about what we feel inside when we're feeling anxious or scared, and so those action superpowers are meant to address those things. And maybe our stomach is hurting or we're feeling very shaky. I know that's something when I am feeling those things or anxious or scared, taking deep breaths is something that's to help me calm down. And at that point, when we are feeling calm and we've used kind of those coping strategies or superpowers to help us feel more calm and address those needs when we're feeling those emotions, we can then kind of move on to what we talk about as the reconciliation superpowers, which are meant to address the inner voice in our head and to help it become a more positive, calm, and gentle voice, and rather than getting wrapped up in maybe our thoughts of, oh, I can't do this, I'm not good enough. Like for example, with the 5-step plan, we can gradually expose ourselves to those things and kind of, you know, and tell ourselves in a very calm way that this isn't something that's going to hurt me, it's not dangerous, or I can do this, and kind of reinforce those positive affirmations in our heads and with our inner voices. And those reconciliation superpowers are really meant to kind of work with that and cultivate that inner voice. So I'm really glad we have both of those in there to kind of teach kids both okay, yeah, I know, like, you're feeling this way, and let's, like, definitely address that first. The same thing with anger is that we can't kind of, like, you know, take control of, manage those emotions until we've felt better first. We want to always, you know, help ourselves feel better first, and then we can address those voices. And when we face those fears again, feel more confident about going forward with them.
Absolutely. And problem solving too is really hard when you're feeling scared or angry. So we want to make sure that kids are in a calm and confident place before they can think clearly and be creative with solutions for problem solving. A last bit I'd like to show maybe is the way that we can listen to the stories again once they've been created. So that's a fun way to revisit the learning and to show kids the impact that they've had on the character as they helped him. So let me show you just a second. I'm opening a new section, but I want to show everything. We need to keep a little surprise for everyone. All right. It's still as beautiful. So let's go back to our character, and we have a little library here with all the stories, the ones that we haven't completed and created yet, and the big dog that we created. So let's all listen to this story and see how we've helped this character so far.
Once upon a time, in a faraway land, there was a citizen who was always scared. He felt anxious about everything. One thing that frightened him was big dogs. Encountering this fear, or simply thinking about it, caused many changes inside his body. His body was shaking. His stomach was hurting. His mind was so full he couldn't think clearly. He often had unhelpful thoughts inside his head, such as, "I'm ridiculous. It's not worth trying. I can't do this. I'm not good enough." To protect himself from this fear, he stayed home all day. The problem with this behavior was that he never visited anyone, nor let anyone visit him. When others tried to interact with him, he was so scared that he put a big smile on his face and pretended everything was okay, but deep down he was so scared. He had a hard time acting differently. It was as if his alarm system were broken. Until one day, a little boy showed him how to repair his alarm system by using superpowers. He practiced taking deep breaths. Ever since, the citizen was able to manage his fear thanks to this superpower and was grateful for this little boy's help. Create more stories to complete the citizen's life.
Yay!
Yay! So thank you, wisdom friends. As we can customize the end of the story is customized to your child. So depending on your child's name, they'll see their name at the end of the story and realize that they've helped the character and that the character feels thankful for them.
I love that. I love seeing it all come together at the end. It was really cool.
Yeah, it's a nice add-on and a nice way for kids also to remember the stories they created and understand that the character's behavior can evolve and be transformed. There's also, a message that we want to convey that it's okay to be scared and it's okay to avoid things as a first step, but then you have to find ways and coping strategies to overcome those fears. And it really feels much better once you've been able to practice and implement them. Did you want to add something else, Emily?
I would just like to add for parents and for any teachers who might want to use this for their students, to remind your child that just as with ourselves, as we learn to face our fears and to learn more about these big emotions, that these things do take time. We're not going to be suddenly not afraid of big dogs like all at once. These things definitely take time, and we'll see that with the game and with this character that we help, is that it doesn't take just one superpower to help him out. It may take two or three superpowers, and it to kind of emphasize that it takes time for us to learn how to manage these big emotions. And so we'll see that in the app, and we'll kind of learn how to apply that to our own lives as well.
Exactly. And it's not linear, fortunately or unfortunately.
Exactly, yeah.
Some days may be better than others. So maybe educators will find 5 new lessons that we've added in the curriculum, SEL curriculum section. So these come with lesson slides and a teacher script that make it easy to teach lessons about identifying fear, anxiety, and worry, and the strategies to overcome them. So make sure to check those lessons out as your students play the game. Maybe to wrap up, I would like to invite you to practice one of the reconciliation superpowers, which we haven't seen in the game yet, but it's a meditation superpower, and it's a very effective one to help us keep our alarms at bay and make sure that we cultivate that positive inner voice. So I'll show you again how to access those meditations in case you're not sure where to find them. We will go back to the home page. And on the home page, there's a children's activities section. In the educator version, it will be in the SEL transition section. And here we have a meditation section at the bottom. And in total, we have 12 meditations that are available. We added 2 new meditations for this session, for this new update. So which one would you like us to listen to, Emily? Do you have a preference for today?
Let's do the brand new one we have for getting ready for bed, because I don't know about you, but I am ready for it to wind down this evening. So I know there's a new one about the moon. I think I'm really excited to hear that one.
Ooh, yay. Okay, let's go for it.
Once you are laying flat on your back, close your eyes and place your hands on your stomach. Take a deep breath in and out through your nose while focusing on the rise and fall of your stomach. Now picture the moon full and bright. Notice how it brightens the night sky. Imagine the moon is shining on the lake, and as if it is looking at itself in the mirror, the moon's reflection shines back up at the night sky. Some nights the sky is clear, and the moon gives light and guidance to those navigating the earth below. Other nights the moon hides behind the clouds, and the world around us isn't always so clear. Think about who guides you when you are uncertain of your next step. Who gives you light or reminds you of the light you carry within when it's hard to see your path ahead? While we sleep, the moon will keep shining and the sun will soon follow. Take a deep breath and think about what you hope to see when the sun shines tomorrow. What brightens your day and makes you smile? Even at night when they seem far away, our favorite things can fill us with light, just as the moon spills light across the water. Imagine the moon is shining on you now, and as you fall asleep, imagine the light you have within.
I love that. That was amazing.
I love it too. Thank you, Emily. And I was thinking of you as they were mentioning who brightened your day.
Oh,
So thank you for brightening my day today.
thank you,
Yeah.
Ondine. I'm so glad we got to share Wisdom, the Kingdom of Fear with everyone. I'm looking forward to hearing more what kids think about it, and I'm really excited about it.
I'm really excited about it too, and I think it's creating those stories is a great way for kids to develop their empathy and put themselves into the shoes of the different characters and better
Mhm.
understand their behavior and better understand your friends when they're um, acting differently or when they're aggressive. Maybe you can
Mhm.
better decipher what lies beneath that. So I'm very excited about these new superpowers, and I really look forward to hearing from our users. Right now, it's available on iOS as of today. Android will be available later this year. And you can also check out our blog. I know, Emily, you wrote a wonderful article about how to help kids manage their fears and anxieties. So it's a great resource for parents and educators to support their kids as they walk through the kingdom of fear.
Yeah, sounds great. And as always, feel free to reach out to us on Instagram or Facebook if you have any questions, and we are here to help.
Exactly. Questions or even ideas of things that you'd like to
Yeah,
see in the game. We're always open for suggestions and excited to incorporate them into our games.
definitely.
Thank you, Emily.
Thank you,
Thank
Ondine. Have a great night.
you.